Hey friends, it is Beth with crochetrx and creations. I'm going to try and do a little bit better vlogging this week as we prepare for our show on Saturday. My video for yesterday's show just dropped this morning, and so if you saw that, we've got some inventory to build back up. We sold out of our mini snakes, axolotls, the cat adoption kits, and one other thing I've already forgotten. And then, oh, my triceratops. And then we almost sold out of our loaf cats and the chickens. So we've got lots of making up to do. So the last 24 hours, because this is now Sunday night, I started last night, I did 5 mini snakes, and then I started 3 heads for my little, and then she just crochets the singles, and so I finished that off. So we've already got 6 snakes, and then after the snakes, because I then gave her my size 5 crochet hook, I switched to chickens, and so I have been making chicken bodies, and then I've got this one that I'm working on. I will finish this up right before we get the kids to bed here tonight. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this will be 11 things that sell for $12 each. And so we have surpassed the $100 a day for our first day. Tomorrow I do work, so I won't be able to crochet all day. And I didn't crochet all day today because we went to church and we did our grocery shopping and all that other stuff. We also clean our dance studio to help offset tuition. So I've only been crocheting really since like 3 o'clock. And that's even hit and miss as I do laundry and vacuum and just regular weekend chores. But I feel good about where we are today. I should be able to stuff and finish these off between patient appointments tomorrow. I'm a diabetes educator, and I spend my days on the phone talking to individuals with diabetes. So I have appointments at the top and bottom of every hour. So typically it's about 20 minutes, and then I've got 5 to 7 minutes between patients. So I can finish these. I should be able to finish these between patients tomorrow, and then I will be able to work on some other stuff tomorrow night while I am sitting at the dance studio. I did place an order for one of the folding origami collapsible shelves to try out for this weekend. Hopefully it's here for this one. We should have plenty of room to spread out this is an event at our church. This is the first time the fall festival has had vendors. And then I also placed an order for some Bernat Baby white because I'm all out of that. I need that for some cats and chickens. So that is it for tonight. I will check in with you guys hopefully tomorrow. Take care. Hey friends, a quick accountability check-in for Monday. It is 9:20. We just got home from dance. And so I did get all the chicken bodies finished and closed off before lunch between my patients. And then today I've been working on cats. So I have made a whole bunch of loaf cat bodies to finish up. So all of them need faces. I've got the second set of feet on, and so then they need faces, closed off, and a tail. So I've got the red, the black, a cream, and a blanket tweed. This one is ivory tweed. So I've got 4 chicken bodies, and then I was out of baby blanket white, so I picked up 2 of those from Walmart while I was in town for dance, in a bigger town for dance. It's still not very big. So not at $100 today, but that's fine. I was over $100 yesterday for the previous 24-hour period between the snakes and the chickens. So these guys will probably get finished up tomorrow afternoon. I need to figure out what I'm going to work on tomorrow morning while the kids are in co-op. And yeah, So I will try and check in tomorrow night and we will see what got done between now and Tuesday evening. All right. Hey friends, I'm not sure why the coloring is so off tonight. I'm not sure what's going on there, but hopping on, it is Tuesday night. It is, oh, my watch is gonna die. It is 9:50. We are just checking in with what we got done, what I got done. I have 5 finished axolotls, and I have a 6th one part of the way. I did not get as much done today as I thought I would. The axolotls I thought were closer to a 30-minute, and they ended up taking more like 45, 50. I don't know if it just with things going on, I was distracted, I'm not sure. My daughter did a snake. It's kind of short though, so I'm gonna have to make it longer in order to finish that off. I have not done anything with the cats from yesterday. That's it. So we're a little bit behind today. I'm working again tomorrow. We will see how much I get done. I will check back in with you at a later time. Hey friends, it is now Wednesday afternoon and I'm popping on here before we go to dance because I'm not sure what kind of mindset I will be in when we get home. Last night ended up staying up till like after 1 a.m. With all the Shopify issues. We attempted to set up a store on Square so that I can maybe use Square this weekend because Shopify still is not remedied. Previously, I was led to believe it was because of the financial information. It had seemed that something got rewritten, and my checking account got replaced with some other things. Today now, after submitting additional support requests because nobody's answered anything that I've done for the past 4 days, I did finally get somebody to respond to me, and they said that when financial stuff refreshes, it ends up getting different, they used a word and I can't think of it right now, different coding, different whatever. It's not encryption, but they used a different word for it. And so it doesn't necessarily reflect my checking account. So my financial information hasn't been changed. The problem is that there are 3 beads on my store that's been there for a year that resemble a Mickey Mouse head. They were in a assorted, non-licensed group of beads that I received, and they picked these 3 things out of my 230 listings. And so they shut down my financials on the 10th and then alerted me of these listings on the 13th, but made no connection to the 2 of them being related. And now I'm told I'm supposed to reply to the email that I got about the listings. I didn't receive an email. I received a push notification that the only option to respond was to file an appeal. I just deleted them. I can sell them in person. I don't need them to be on my online shop. But this is dumb. Why couldn't the person that I talked to on Saturday the 11th tell me this? We are now multiple days into this, and I am just now getting, we're at 5 days since, because this happened on Friday, and I'm just now getting somebody to connect these dots. So I wrote back again going, I don't have an email to respond to. Like, what do we have to do? I'm just over it. And Shopify seemed like a great platform and a great upgrade to be able to get a little bit more conveniences on the web browsing for online purchases, but this is obnoxious. Their help and support is pathetic. And to pay $300 a year for a service that they just lock up on a whim is maddening. There was no warning, there was no information. It was literally one line on my email last week saying, please update your information. Didn't tell me what information. The link that they sent me to was a help file that just spun me in circles. Nothing ever told me what I needed to update. And then the financials appeared to be wrong. And so that's where we went with the help. But the support team didn't tell me anything different. So we were up very, very late trying to figure out if I'm going to just get a square tap and chip reader, because I gave mine to my dad because I hadn't used it in a couple of years, or if I were, and that's $60, or if I were to just go all in and get the desktop terminal, which is currently on sale. And so I either pay $60 for the tap and chip, or I can pay $250 for the full all-in-one with receipt printer. It also would do swipe cards, because I've ran into a swipe card recently with a gift card. And I had to manually enter it, which then results in huge charges, huge fees for a manually entered card. So we will see what happens there. Likely that decision will be made before the end of this video and getting posted. So as far as what I've done today, like I said, we went to bed after 1 a.m. I was then awake at 5:30. My husband is traveling today, and so I then spent 2 hours this morning before my work hours started, finishing up all of the cats that I had made. So I embroidered all of the faces on the kitty cats, on the 4 cats that I had partially completed. This one looks extra angry. The white's gone behind. And then I finished off the snake that my daughter had started yesterday. The air conditioner just turned on. I don't know how loud that's going to be. I have then made 2 additional kitty cats. These are eyes that we painted ourselves. And then this one here. And so now that I've got the white yarn again, I want to make or a couple white chickens. And then I still need to finish up my axolotls, and then I need to make some triceratops. I think were the big highlights, and the brontosaurus. I don't know that I'm gonna get to that either. So we will see. We are talking about going to the state fair on Friday, so I won't have much time that day to prep, but being up in Raleigh, we could stop at a Best Buy and pick up the terminal, and then Best Buy would price match to the sale. Should price match to the sale. So we will see how things pan out. I have advised Shopify that those things have been deleted. Like, what are the next steps here? And I have not received a reply, and now it's been a number of hours. We were chatting back and forth with like 30-minute delays, and now it's been a number of hours without any further communication. So we will see. I am so irritated. I can't even. So mad. You don't mess with people's money. All right, so I will see if I have anything more to report tonight, or if I just end up collapsing and falling asleep when we get home from dance. Hey friends, so Thursday's update. I just got done with work and dinner. The last few nights we have been intensely working on moving my Shopify store over to Square, the Square marketplace, and it's a lot. The inventory carries over to a point, The photos do not. So I have like 230 listings that need photos. So going through and uploading those, and then I started working on another axolotl this morning. Obviously it needs the gills and frills added on. The little finished another snake, and I just finished doing the tail real quick. The big has been making the mini keychain chickens out of a variety of odds and ends scrap yarns. I need to tag everything that we've made, my 6 loaf cats, the however many chickens, all of my axolotls, they all need tags. And then if I can get all that done, I may work on some more axolotls and try and get those all stocked up, and then I can work on some other things at a different point. Tomorrow we are headed to the state fair, and we are picking up a reader for Square because I gave my dad my Square tap chip reader. So starting over there, I think I'm going to get the terminal, which does everything and prints receipts as well. If I'm going to spend, the terminal is on sale, so I can either spend $60 on just the tap and chip, but I have recently run into a couple swipe gift cards that I've had to manually enter, and fees are higher and all that stuff. So the terminal will swipe, tap, and chip, and then also takes, what is that payment type? Cash App. Cash App is the only payment type I think that I do not have. I have previously could do Apple, Google, any major credit card, Zelle, Venmo, and PayPal. I think Cash App is the only one I couldn't do. Previously when I was using Square, Square takes Cash App. Then when I moved to Shopify, Shopify does not take that unless you have a Cash App card that you can, tap, or your phone for that kind of stuff. So I'll be able to take that now again, which means I need to update my payment forms. It's always something. So that is what tonight holds for us. We'll see how much I get done. Hey friends, we are checking in here, on Sunday from my office, because this is where I'm sitting and working at the moment. I am really sunburned. I'm not sure how well this comes across on camera, but my neck, face, ears are all very sunburned. Friday we went to the North Carolina State Fair and then came home and finished up. We purchased the Square terminal, which is an all-in-one that then also has a printer inside of it. So it takes the swipe, which I've run into a few gift cards recently that I've had to manually enter previously. So it does a swipe, the tap, the chip, all of that stuff. So picked that up on our way home from Raleigh, set that up, added some more photos into the new Square shop, and then Saturday morning we went to our church for our fall festival, and I didn't know what to expect. We have had previous obligations during other fall festivals, and this is the first time that they've had vendors. There were 7 vendors that came, and we were kind of off in a corner, maybe a secondary entrance. So you could either enter on our side, or you could enter on the back of the church on the other side. And then the food and games were on the back of the church. There were some bouncy houses closer to our side, and I wasn't quite sure how traffic would be, how things would set up. I really had no ideas of how this was going to go. The registration fee was only $20, and I did 300% of that. It was a fabulous event. I was probably the most popular booth. There was a candy booth a couple things down, but as my kid said, it was just basic gummies and hard candies that you can get anywhere. It wasn't the fun freeze-dried stuff or anything like that. So I don't know how the other vendors went, how the other vendors did. At one point I thought a friend was going to be there with me, but she then realized that she had other obligations that day. She got mixed up on her days. So I saw a couple of people from the church that I recognized, but it was primarily Mexican food and Spanish music, which I love, but it brought a lot of the individuals that go to the Spanish masses that I wouldn't necessarily recognize as being part of our church community because I just don't see them. So we sold a total of 55 items. A number of those were my daughter's mini chickens. That was the free Instagram pattern that I covered the few videos back. And then her other things, other minis were very popular as well. For big ticket items, I sold a dragon. That was my work chime. I'm double multitasking here. So a number of those, so the big ticket items were a dragon and a lovey. Those were my two highest item sales, and they actually went to the same person. It was a lawyer marketing for their firm that was next to me. So other than that, my oldest daughter, the teenager, sold 13 items, and like I said, those were a lot of the chickens, the mini jellyfishes, the mini stingrays. And then my little one had 5 items that either she makes or contributes to. So she got $10 off of the event. My big got $50. I do keep part of those sales for material costs, but we split it up there. So I did 2/3 of the event was in cash, and then 1/3 was square. So super great event. I need to work on updating my inventory for all of the cash sales and then reconciling a few things. I didn't get all the chicken colors. The loaf cats, I have made a ton of loaf cats, and I'm down to half or a third of what I had. So I need to reconcile those as well to double check the colors of what's left in stock. And then hopefully once I get inventory updated, I will get my website rerouted to the new store and get that up and live. So I still do not have any resolution from Shopify. I have not heard anything more out of them. They are still holding my money from the last event, and there doesn't seem to be much I can do. So we will just move away, and I will take that offline. I think that is it. It has been a very long 3 days with being on the go from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. plus the last 3 days. So looking forward to a little bit of downtime, getting back to routine tomorrow. My feet are so sore from walking. We did multiple miles at the fair Friday. We did another 4+ miles at the zoo today for their Halloween event. And I am tired. I've got raccoon eyes for my sunglasses. For the dance convention next weekend, I am going to look like a zombie. I will be in appropriate Halloween attire because I will be peeling and all of my skin will be falling off. On that note, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. The huge majority, like 85-90% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. I would love it if you would subscribe and stick around, and I will then catch you in a bit. My next show is the 1st of November. It is for an animal rescue that I've done a couple events for before, and I'm looking forward to going to a different location with them. So I don't know that I will have another video out. I'll probably have some shorts of crocheting at the convention, the dance convention, as I sit there and watch everybody dance. And I don't know that I'll have another long video unless I do something of restocking and what I made sort of thing. But I will check in with you guys next time. Take care.